Hey, welcome to the show, everyone. We have Mike Jenkins set to talk to us. Next week is Thanksgiving, so we're going to be talking about Thanksgiving pizza, turkeys on the attack in Jersey. We also got crazy news, playing with balls, and much more. Keep it locked right here on the Epic Radio Show. Yeah, here we go. My name is Epic. Thank you for joining us. We've got a great show for you guys today. As I said, we have stand-up comedian, former pro wrestler Mike Jenkins on the show a little later. But first, let me introduce you to the rest of the cast. We have Jay Val and Mark Warren.
We got two guys playing with balls today.
Yeah, that's right.
Most likely just our own in separate corners.
Yeah, maybe not.
And that little lady you heard in the background.
You called me a little lady.
It's just
that's Ashley. Say hi.
Hi.
How are you today?
I am fine.
Awesome.
Yeah, great. Good time.
Baby's put in the corner again.
Yeah. Little lady's put in a box.
Little lady.
Every fucking show. Put in the box.
Well, you like the box now.
I do like the box, so
Yes.
it's my own little space.
Yep. Your safe space.
I can just be like, fuck all of you, and you guys wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, just turn off the mic.
That is how you feel when you're in there, though. It's like you're in your own little world.
Yeah, like, fuck all
Like,
of
everyone
you.
else is out here, and then you're, like, in there, and you're just like...
I'm just like, fuck you all. I don't give a fuck about you. And then I'm like, hi.
And I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm sitting right next to her. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, like, we're all actually...
That's not
next
me.
to each other.
What do you mean, little lady? She's enormous.
That's a ghost. Our house is
That's
haunted.
offensive.
Not enormous in, like, fat sense.
Oh, man.
Jesus.
I'm really tall.
She's got a huge head.
Oh, my head's huge. I'm like
That's
a
all it
bobblehead.
is.
I'm like a big old bobblehead.
She's like Andre the Giant,
Yeah.
just, only in the head.
Just in the head area.
Her head weighs 45 pounds.
That's a really heavy head.
Oh, man.
I don't know how I live. How am I alive?
Just drag it around.
Like, that's just terrible. Like, I have a head. Oh, God, my neck would hurt all the time. That's terrible.
Well, make sure you follow us on social medias. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can watch this show live right now on the epicradioshow.com.
Awesome.
We also have merch for sale, as we always do.
We usually do.
Right now, just in time for the holidays, we have unisex logo tees for $10, including free shipping.
Ooh, free shipping.
See, we should make Christmas shirts, like, playing with balls, and there's, like, two...
Bunch of ornaments.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I can do that. We can do that if
that'd be pretty
enough
sweet.
people definitely.
But actually,
Yeah.
They get
buy
like
them,
a dozen
all
pre-orders
you
or something
motherfuckers.
in.
Absolutely.
Tommy Parker will just buy the whole lot of them.
Yeah,
Hello,
so
who's
second
in
week,
here?
Jay's back and Mark came back. Good thing. Well, we mentioned last week you were having
Yeah, I got family
family
stuff
issues going on.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys here at the show have been pretty good and patient with me. So I appreciate y'all.
I have not been patient at all with you. Hi, Rachel, Ryan, Allison.
Hi guys.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning.
There's other people that are there, but I don't know who you are because it won't tell me everybody's here.
That's weird.
Yeah, it says 7, but I know that's not 7. So
I gotcha.
I'm like, I don't know who else.
So that's all the people that's popped up in the chat.
That said, boom, boom.
Yeah. So we're testing new software that we're gonna use when we make the big move.
Big move.
So far, there's been a little glitching, but it could be just my broke ass computer. I don't know.
Probably that.
Probably that. But anyways, to get the show moving, let's go into our first topic. What?
Michael James says, I love Snook's balls. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's lovely.
That's focus.
Oh, hey, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
I kind of was like, who's that? For a minute.
Who the fuck?
I had to like.
Why does
think
he
for a
love
minute.
my balls?
Yeah,
what is
I was-
going on here?
I thought I had a stalker or something.
Like, oh, snap.
I mean, he could be.
Yeah,
I
you
guess.
never
He
know.
could be.
He probably knows where you live. And
That's right.
He's
knows
talking about the shirt idea. See, there's one sold right there.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Send us your shirt size.
Ryan said he
Yeah.
wants 2.
Okay.
He wants 2 hoodies, he said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, order them.
Do it.
Go to Etsy.com
He's trying to-
/shop /the Epic Radio
Can't
Show.
buy everybody their
He's trying
stuff.
to
We're not
put
rich.
the order in through you, man. He wants you to do all the work.
Yeah.
It's like, we're not rich. We can't
We're
buy
not rich. We can't do it. Okay. Anyways, first
it.
topic.
Anyways.
Thanksgiving pizza.
Thanks. Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
So, Ohio Pie Company in Brunswick is known for crafting unusual pizza.
I live right across the street from there.
Yep.
Do
But
you?
their Thanksgiving leftover pizza tops the list. When they opened up shop in February, owner Nick Robson wanted to carve out his own slice in the pizza world. Being from the Buckeye State, the lifelong pizza lover didn't want to serve Chicago-style or New York-style pizza. I don't like playing by the rules, laughs Robson. Opening up a New York-style shop or a Chicago-style shop or whatever it may be in Ohio didn't make sense to me. Instead, he embarked on making his own signature style, the Ohio-style pizza. It's a thick crust pizza loaded with fresh toppings where the sauce is swirled on top. He features everything from your standard cheese and pepperoni pizza to pickle pizza.
Ew.
He continued that unusual pizza trend this fall, unveiling the Thanksgiving leftover pie. Thanksgiving is one of those meals where you can just kind of mash everything up, said Robson.
That might be good, man.
He starts the pie with mashed potatoes, topped with turkey, doused in a thick gravy. He then tops that with cheese, stuffing, and a final swirl of extra gravy. Once it's taken out of the oven, he then tops it off with a drizzle of homemade cranberry sauce.
Oh, God.
Everything you love about Thanksgiving in one convenient pizza. Ohio Pizza Company is located in Brunswick off of Pearl. They will be featuring the Thanksgiving leftover pie until the end of November. So what do you guys think?
I want to try it.
Yay or nay? On the pizza.
I don't like cranberry sauce, so I mean that part.
I'm
I
sure-
did crack up laughing when you said he tops it off and drizzles.
Yeah, did you write that? Because if you did, that's pretty.
I did
masterful
not. I
writing.
can't take credit for it.
All right.
You know,
Oh man, yeah, I was.
this was
cracking up.
first
article.
reported by WKYC Channel 3.
Oh,
Very,
man.
very well written article there. Whomever
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
that, that was a good job.
It was.
They were on point in there.
They Ron Burgundy that one a little bit.
A little bit, yes. I think I would like to try it.
Yeah, I want to definitely try it. And then going back to the pickle pizza, I love pickles, man.
Oh,
So-
Too.
God.
Oh, that would be a dream for me.
yeah,
I love fried
I love
pickles.
fried pickles.
Ooh,
Yeah.
no. No.
You know who has the best fried pickles, but we don't have any? Is Hooters.
Hooters.
Hooters has the best fried pickles.
Yeah, he
I haven't seen one of those places since we were like younger.
Well, they're all over North Carolina.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And when I
there's
lived down there,
tons
they were
of
there.
Hooters.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
talking about up here.
Like
when I
those-
No,
was,
I know.
yeah.
There's only one in Ohio, I think. And
Last
it's
one
like,
in Parma closed over a decade ago. at
It's
this
like near
point.
Sandusky, I believe.
Let's see. Ryan said turkey crust with cranberry dipping sauce. I'm like, oh, God.
I don't know that Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you shielded that cough very well, Mark.
And then I think I just shot it right at the mic instead of.
I know. Where the
I
fuck's
blocked
the
it and
lights
turned it
off?
into a microphone.
Michael James
megaphone on
says
accident.
Ohio Pizza Company is amazing. And
I'm gonna-
Allison said I wouldn't try that. Thank you, Allison. Me and her are on the same team.
Well, I
here.
guess I have to pick one up and bring it in, huh?
Ugh.
Yeah,
Gross.
that would be great.
Well,
Yeah.
here's
We'd try it. We could review it.
Yeah, I'm down.
No.
kind of like where you got to think
Gross.
outside the box, but use some critical thinking with it. I mean, you'd make a sandwich like that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I
definitely,
wouldn't.
Yeah.
You wouldn't?
You know,
No.
she's very
Because of the
picky.
cranberry sauce
Yeah,
thing?
she
or
doesn't
what?
even like Mexican
She
food.
doesn't
man.
like half of that stuff.
No,
Yeah,
that's why I
'Cause
wouldn't try it.
she likes turkey. That's about it.
Turkey's like kind of like eh. I think so.
Yeah, her Thanksgiving plate's kind of.
Yeah, I eat
Simple.
corn, I eat rolls, I eat mashed potatoes and turkey.
You eat like a 6-year-old child
Yes.
then. All right.
Yes,
Pretty
that's why
much.
me and my kids get along so well.
Hey, let's all have corn for dinner. Okay.
No, my kids hate corn though.
Oh.
I like
I
corn.
love
They don't.
corn.
They're weird. That's like the
Yeah, they're
best
weird.
vegetable ever. And
It is.
And
But
they're
you
just
get
like,
like hardly
"No."
any type of nutrition from it. That's why it comes out whole.
And it's got virtually no taste.
Yeah.
So you guys slather it in butter.
Ah, and
Yeah.
it's delicious.
Well, I don't disagree.
Yes.
But no, that's
She
the big
just likes the
thing.
cob part.
She eats corn like this.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's how you two met. Like she's just at a corn eating contest at a fair, and your eyes meet.
That would be a really weird
Shortly
story.
thereafter,
And, like,
you're married.
So she's not eating the corn like this. She's
Not the
just sucking the
traditional
kernels
way.
off.
Just like,
Like a fucking chipmunk or
I'm not
like a
on this show
groundhog.
anymore. I'm staying in the box.
Oh my god.
I'm just in the box.
hey, we just stole somebody else's idea and riffed on it. Quite frankly, it was whoever put
Pretty
that
much,
up was
yeah.
the mastermind.
Yeah.
No, it's all, when you think about it, all pizza is a convenient sandwich,
Yeah.
and you'd have a turkey sandwich.
Man, they have all kinds of different
All
kinds of
sorts
pizzas.
of weird sandwich stuff.
I like
Why
the
not
fact
weird
that they
pizza
kind of
stuff?
drizzle the sauce on top,
You just
like
like
the
word.
pizza
I think
sauce.
you just like the
Yeah,
word
yeah.
That's
drizzle.
different.
I think
Shut
you just
the,
like,
what the fuck?
what the fuck? Fuck you. You're
you
gonna start
talking
your
about?
shit with me
What'd
today.
you talk about, Willis?
I'm not Willis. Who the fuck's Willis? The fuck out of here.
Is it because drizzle rhymes with jizzle?
I think that's why he likes
For
it.
drizzle
that's
by
what-
jizzle.
Yeah,
I think that's why he likes the word.
that's what Mason Rudolph shouted. he said
Hey,
jizzle.
Jeremy.
Yeah. Oh
Oh
man.
my god.
Miles Garrett says it's too close to Thanksgiving, fool.
Foo. Okay.
Oh, God.
On that note, we're going to take a break.
On that note, we're going to take a break.
When we get back, we're going to have Mike Jenkins on the line. Don't go anywhere. We shall return.
Or maybe not. Maybe we won't return.
on the line, we have former professional wrestling star and current comedian. I'd like everyone to give a big, epic, warm welcome to Mike Jenkins. How you doing today?
Greetings, morning from dreary New Jersey. We got rain out here. When we're ready for some Jets football, I call the Jets the Green Browns. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. Who do you think is going to win with the actual Browns? Browns versus Dolphins today.
Oh, I'm loving the Browns, so that's got to be a guaranteed loss. You know, whenever I feel.
Usually, yeah.
Whenever I feel they're going to steamroll somebody and everyone's going to grow from the Myles Garrett assault on Mason Rudolph, they'll just crush me. So I'm excited for that.
Excited to be crushed.
That's hilarious. So you've been doing comedy since about 2010. You call yourself the Mad Dog of comedy. Why is that?
The Mad Dog name came from the wrestling days, and I was introduced as a wrestling star. I don't know if I went that far or even close. Probably a star in Northeast New Jersey, but outside of that, the wrestling fans would call me a jobber. But I would wrestle as Mad Dog Jenkins at the IWF, and I still do the ring announcing. I still do the interviews, and I retired due to so many head injuries. I don't remember. So,
is that you don't remember because you had so many head injuries, or?
I think it's a combo of both. This was back when I still subscribed to the walk it off. You're not really messed up, and it's an addiction. You want to keep wrestling.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize concussions were progressive. The more you get them, the easier they are to get, and the worse they get. I wish I would have just took off a year, but I kept wrestling every weekend till I couldn't even take a turnbuckle without getting sick.
Oh man.
Well, I found it interesting that you actually did train with a lot of superstars, like Dr. Tom Pritchard, the Honky Tonk
yes.
Man, Tito Santana. What was it like training with them? And were you trying to were you comfortable in that role you were in, or did you really kind of fall into that by accident?
I always wanted to be a wrestler. I was a late bloomer though, because
Okay.
I love drugs and booze and women and video games and wasted a lot of years there, but that's all right. I grew from that. But I always loved old school wrestling, and I still do. I really don't watch the current product. I heard NWA's like old school now. But to work with those guys, I'm sorry?
Isn't that weird too? It seems like that was just yesterday, and that's like old school now.
Totally. And to work with those guys was just a blessing. I always loved Honky Tonk Man. He was like the greatest chicken shit coward everybody wanted to see get beat up, and he loved that role and did it so well. And he retweeted me an old picture when I wrestled with him when he got inducted to the Hall of Fame. So I was pretty blown away by that. It was cool many years ago.
That is pretty cool. So your step from professional wrestling into comedy, how did that happen?
I kind of already alluded to it. When you can't fight anymore, but you like performing.
Yeah.
It was a very dark time for me, actually. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to keep wrestling. I couldn't believe I had, put in all that work and had to quit. But I liked doing the interviews. I liked doing the promos.
Yeah.
I said, screw it. Let me see if I can be funny.
Well, yeah,
a little bit like Carlin.
Well, yeah, but comedy's a very specific part of it. You know what I mean? Were you funny as a wrestler? Did you with your promos and stuff? Did you throw in comedy there? Because you could have easily just went to any other acting, plays or Broadway or anything like that. But you went to comedy. Why do you think specifically you went to comedy?
I think I have an old Thanksgiving Thunder promo on my YouTube. I'd say it's a cross between Bushwhacker Luke and Ultimate Warrior. So it was zany and stupid, and I always Bushwhackers are hilarious. You know, they bite you on the ass, they lick your head.
And so you spoke about Carlin just briefly. You just mentioned Carlin. Are there any other comedians that you draw like inspiration from?
Like, I didn't even know Hicks until I got into comedy, and he's the legend, Bill Hicks. Amazing. You know, I kind of was schooled as I went on, but George Carlin, Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, grew up watching Blues Brothers, you know, all the SNL, Eddie Murphy. I mean, just all legends. And I was thinking today, in the current climate, you know, what would these guys have gotten away with if they said one of these edgy things and they wake up in the morning and 1 million people are hating them on Twitter? Like, would they have continued doing that stuff back in the day? I don't know. But
Well,
love those guys.
me and Ashley actually saw you downtown, and a lot of your material was kind of edgy and stuff like that. Do you worry about that kind of stuff with the cancel culture that we have now? Like, are you worried about saying the wrong thing and people exploding on Twitter?
Well, I'm fortunate I don't have that kind of following yet, but totally.
Yeah.
You know, but I am growing more toward a cleaner, enjoying that stuff, but you still just want to, you know, true comedy is when you're feeling freest.
Yeah.
And sometimes a stupid thought or just a stupid saying comes out, especially when you've had 22 concussions. I misspeak a lot. Sometimes I sound like George W. Bush saying strategery. And what did I just say? Holy shit.
Put food on my family.
Yeah, put food on my family. That's an actual quote, I think. Yeah.
Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't get fooled again.
He started just quoting Who lyrics.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Well, you're also acting, and you've been on a few things like Homicide City. You make a appearance on, like a.
I did 3 episodes of Homicide City. It was a blessing, recurring character. Then they moved the show to Atlanta, so I seem shit out of luck right now. They were doing Philly murders, so I was like the main chief of Philly, one of the head guys. So I had a few episodes, which was awesome. But
that's cool.
Always looking for the next thing. Can't just keep doing murder reenactments.
You were on shows like Quantico. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said go. That's weird. The Hunt with John Walsh on CNN. Pandora's Box. Now, like when you're doing comedy and then you go into like acting, you know, for screen or whatever. Like, how do you kind of like switch that personality off and say, hey, like I'm gonna just start being this cop or whatever, you know what I mean? Like how do you prepare for roles?
It's actually extremely liberating because somebody's telling you what to say, and B, you don't have to be that funny clown. You get to explore that dark side of yourself that, you know, a lot of comedians have. That's why we feel the need to make others love, laugh, and bring that joy. So it's kind of nice. Hey, let me try to make somebody cry, or, you know, go really deep within myself and be vulnerable and put out that emotion.
So I want to talk a little bit about Met Opera. Explain what that is exactly and what your role is with that.
That's been one of those unexpected blessings that they talk about in spiritual living. But, you know, my goal was always to be in Madison Square Garden wrestling, and I wound up about 30 streets up the road at the Lincoln Center doing the Met Opera. But I started with Aida. I played an Egyptian soldier, got my foot in the door, and then I auditioned for Porgy and Bess. I play a cop in 1934, Charleston, South Carolina, and there's in all African American cast, and they sing all these wonderful songs and do these wonderful things. And every once in a while, the cops show up and throw a wrench in the thing. So that's what we do. I arrest a few folks, fun stuff like that. And at the end they boo us. So I know I've done my job.
Right.
If they got that mad at us. I feel like Bobby the Brain Heenan in the garden if they're all booing me. But after a few smiles and waves, the audience gets it. And okay, they weren't really those bad guys, and they applaud. But
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah.
That's funny.
So do you sing at all? Like, is that something you're trying to explore?
I've never done it. Nah, I'm what they call a super. I do have some lines in it. I do some yelling, or if you could call that lines, but not everybody sings in the opera. That's something I wouldn't have known either.
Well,
So
I
got
didn't
involved.
know that either. That's why I wanted to know more about it. I was
Maybe I should take some lessons. This
Who
seems to be
knows?
my life journey. I've failed at everything else. So.
Hey Jay, so you were a singer. What do you think his tone would be?
His tone?
Yeah, would it be a baritone?
His
Swing
Swing
maybe
low,
like a-
sweet chariot.
The way he's
Come for,
talking,
that's
maybe
the
like a
best
tenor.
I can do.
Tenor? Okay, there you go. Hey, that was not bad though.
Yeah.
Sweet
The
little-
Chevy
yeah.
Chase, swing low, right?
Yep, there you go.
I just watched a movie with Chevy Chase the other day.
You did.
Yeah, he was an old guy retired in a retirement home. I forget what it was called, but it was pretty funny. He was like a manager of a comedian, which is how ironic that
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I love his work. I got to check that out. That's
Yeah.
one I'm not familiar with.
it was on Netflix, man.
You also do a YouTube series, The Rogue Zero. What's that about?
It went on complete hiatus once we saw The Last Jedi. We were devastated by that film.
That's hilarious.
But we would just do Star Wars. Me and my buddy I used to wrestle with, and I was just in his wedding party. But we're thinking of filming some more, just because it's so much fun to do. You know,
Yeah.
It's so hard to get an audience with that stuff. But
Well,
The Last Jedi just took the wind out of our sails. They made Han Solo a deadbeat dad, and they killed him, and his death meant nothing. And they made Luke a coward and killed him, and his death meant nothing. I'm terrified what they're going to do to
Yeah.
Lando in Episode 9.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's horrible.
Ugh.
Yeah, it makes me sad. Well, if anybody wanted to see you or look you up, how would they be able to do that?
www.maddogjenkins.com, but the tricky part is DAWG, like our dog pound in Cleveland. I
Hell
wish
yeah.
I would have never spelt it that way, 'cause for marketing it's been wrong for the last 12 years. So
Gotcha. All right. What about the social medias?
it's pretty much the same across the board.
Okay.
Mad Dog Jenkins on Twitter, Instagram. On Facebook, I'm just Mike Jenkins, because they get all, bitchy about using stage names or nicknames, and
Yeah.
they wouldn't let me use that because, they sell our information to our corporate masters, and they want real names only. So I'm Mike Jenkins on Facebook.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It was.
Oh, this
really
was
fun.
awesome, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. We definitely want to know more. So, if you guys want to keep track with what he is doing, make sure you follow him on the social medias and check out maddogjenkins.com. Is that right? Mad Dog Jenkins? Was that?
You bet.
Yes. There we go.
DAWG.
That's right.
DAWG.
All right. So
Hey,
we're gonna take a break. Oh wait.
We'll be talking some Brown stuff here on the sports section a little bit later. So
Yeah.
if he wants to stay tuned and
There you go.
Yeah, and I want to ask him a question about the
Sure.
honky tonk man later on too. So stick
Well, you can
around
ask
in the
it
chat
now
or
if you
something.
want to.
All right, is that
Sure.
cool, Mad Dog?
How late are we going to? Maybe I could come back another time. I was actually going to run out to my buddy's studio. We're having a big Browns party in Jersey City, 186 production. So,
All right. Well,
if it's the next segment, I'll stick around.
Well, let me just ask you this question real fast about
Sure.
now. When you trained with Honky Tonk Man, and did you actually fight in any matches with him?
We did a 6-tag team match together. My partner, myself, Biggie Biggs. We were known as Big Nuts. He was big and I was nuts. Together we were Big Nuts. And Honky Tonk Man. So that was a real trip. We got to dance to his music and do a wild match to a sellout.
So you
crowd
didn't
of
fight
200
against him then?
What's that?
You didn't fight against him then?
He was a good guy.
Okay.
When he does these Legends appearances, he can't market himself as a villain when he does these local shows.
So he didn't hit you with his acoustic guitar then?
No, he did not. But that would be. I may have to come back if he's willing to do that.
Because you could then hit him with a helmet. Because they both weigh about the same.
I think I would take the guitar over the helmet, but if it's a Steeler fan, either one, right?
All right, but thank you so much. Have a good rest of your day. That was Mike Jenkins, everyone, and we're going to go on break. When we get back, we're going to talk about turkeys on the attack and the first person that's been put into suspended animation. We'll be right back after these messages. So that was a pretty good interview, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty
Yeah.
He was cool.
Very down to
Absolutely.
earth.
Yes. Which I said that before the show, I think. Well,
Maybe.
no, I said it yesterday at the party. That's what it was.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so
You were talking to other people.
I was talking to him about my Mike Jenkins. I have another cold, which is great.
Yay.
But
Anyways,
anyways,
Maybe.
I'm dealing with this cold, but in Jersey,
they dealing with
they're
some
dealing
other
with
shit.
wild turkeys terrorizing the neighborhood.
Wild turkeys.
Damn turkeys.
Do it again, Jay.
Damn.
That's really good.
It is. That's a
Yeah.
really good turkey call.
I
almost
have,
Yours
don't-
sounds better.
I know. I
actually.
almost don't need the sound.
I have ran
That's
across a few wild turkeys in my day.
He practices with the turkeys.
Yeah.
In
That
my
was an
20s,
alcohol
I
joke.
drank
Like, is
a
this
lot of
right?
wild turkey.
Yes.
You know?
You would think this
Me
close
too.
to
I like wild turkey.
yeah. You would think that this close to Thanksgiving, turkeys would keep a low profile.
So
New Jersey wildlife officials will remove aggressive wild turkeys from a Toms River adult community within a week. Township Administrator Donald Guardian said Tuesday. Representatives from the State Division of Fish and Game were at the 1595 home adult community Tuesday assessing the situation.
assessing it.
I think
Yep.
that's free dinner, man.
Like, get
After
them
s-
bitches.
After some residents complained last week that a flock of about 40 to 60
Whew.
rogue birds
Damn.
had
Man.
damaged property and cars and attacked people who tried to shoot them away.
I think they're getting tired of Thanksgiving, man.
Like, fuck
They're-
this.
they're-
we
they're-
riot at dawn.
So apparently the Department of Environmental Protection said the Division of Fish and Wildlife workers will use trails of corn to bait the turkeys and then trap them using a drop net, which sounds very like Looney Tunes. And then what after that? Net like anvil's gonna come down. Like, is this all orchestrated by Wile E. Coyote? I need more
I think
answers.
so.
Well, when I seen the wild turkeys, I believe I was in like I think I was in California, but they would come up to, they would just be nonchalant, just walking around in neighborhoods,
Yeah.
and then like they stare at you, and then they'll come up and like start trying to attack your car and shit.
Really?
Turkeys don't give a fuck.
Well,
Nah, they don't care, man.
the turkey terror received widespread media attention and
course it
prompted Toms River native and Major League Baseball star Todd Frazier to sound off on Twitter saying the large birds were also creating a nuisance in his neighborhood.
Oh my god.
They're urging the public not to feed the turkeys or any other wild animal. Residents can use a broom, garden hose, or air horn to scare aggressive birds and reinforce their natural fear of people.
Just get BB guns.
Yeah.
China said
Football
they're very
helmets.
violent. They walk right up to the
football
car and don't move.
Yeah, residents could also place cardboard over windows to prevent reflections, as male or
Yeah.
tom turkeys
Tom turkeys.
yep, may see the reflection in a window and try to attack it thinking it's another male bird because they're stupid.
That's just how that's what turkeys do.
Wild turkeys are common in Tom Rivers and many parts of the Ocean County. Division of Fish and Wildlife estimates that there are 20,000 to 30,000 turkeys in New Jersey.
That's crazy.
And
a lot of
that's
turkeys.
not including the birds. That's some of the residents.
Ah,
Oh, there you go.
oh,
Look.
look at
Awesome.
No,
That's
no homeless
great.
people should
They
go
give you
without
a applause
turkey
for
this
that.
Thanksgiving.
How many of those turkeys are jive? Poor Mike Jenkins, he's out there in New Jersey. He's got to battle this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
gonna
should have asked him about that.
I tried to say he's dealing with he's gonna watch the Browns, and I said he was dealing with wild turkeys.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, I
You're watching
forgot.
Browns versus Dolphins. There's Jets and turkeys.
Man,
That's just Ryan said just use a deep fryer, it'll scare them.
deep fried turkey. Don't drop it in frozen.
There's actually a pretty big wild turkey population out in Menor area. And like I take pictures and video of them. They don't
they
give a
just
fuck.
fucking don't give a
They
shit
just
what
don't
you're
care.
doing. They're like, I don't give a
No.
fuck how you're doing.
They had a really good report on one of the local news stations about this one
Yeah.
turkey. And he's just going after the post office carrier of all people every single
I think I
day.
remember
That's
that.
crazy.
Right, and that was on the local
Turkeys
news.
be cray.
And because they're what's the word for it? Territorial.
Yes.
This is my neighborhood. I've been here more generations than you. Build a house on my land.
Yep.
Yep.
You.
I mean, you can
now
blame
they're-
the pilgrims for that.
There were even
Damn
reports
pilgrims.
that they were actually like pecking on the door looking for food.
Right.
Yep.
Like, hey,
Ringing doorbells and shit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about
I
doorbells.
don't
Worried
think it
about
reached the
porch
doorbells
pirates.
necessarily. I mean,
Yeah.
how tall are fucking
You got porch
turkeys?
They're pretty
turkeys.
tall. I
Aren't they
mean,
pretty big?
well,
They're
I mean,
mostly neck.
I'm five.
Yeah, lots of
I'm
neck.
I'm 5'7". They probably, I don't know, like some
Some of them
could
are
be
pretty big. Yeah.
I
Some
need
of
to
them
look
could be
up-
about 5 feet.
I need
They're
to-
the
I need to
giraffes of the bird world.
Right, that's what I was thinking. Like, how
and they're
tall are
ugly
these
as
bitches?
shit.
Yeah.
Not good looking animals.
No, they're ugly,
That's
man.
why we eat them.
They're the ugliest damn bird I've ever seen.
And that's the funny thing about it too, is they were going to be our national bird. Ben Franklin wanted that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And he got voted down. Everybody was like, no, let's go with like something regal
So it
looking like the
says-
eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, something cool
Adult male
looking.
turkeys
like
are
a
about
turkey.
average 4 feet tall.
Could you imagine other countries looking at us like
Tom
our
turkeys.
national bird is a turkey?
Yeah, like we would be.
There's so
I
many
mean, Turkey
metaphors
would
there.
probably
I
find
know,
some offense
Right?
to it,
Bunch
right?
of turkeys.
Right? I would be
Like
offended
he
if I
was-
were a turkey.
Well, the
United
country
States'
turkey would
job.
probably find some offense, right?
Yeah, there's a whole country named
Yeah.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's Greece.
There's Greece.
Greece
And
and,
then-
turkey.
And they just need another country to change their name to Gravy, and it'll be all good. In the
It'll
Middle
I'm
be
East.
all
for him, too.
gravy.
Yeah, it'll be all gravy, baby.
Oh Jesus!
I'd live in mashed potatoes.
I'd live in mashed potatoes.
That's
I haven't
great.
had mashed potatoes in so long. I'm
With
so excited.
Gravy Boat River.
There you go.
Gravy boat.
Going down
Gravy
Gravy
Boat
Boat
River.
River.
Yeah. The
That's
many
silly.
folk songs that can be created.
That is crazy.
That 4-foot Tom Turkey coming after you. Do-do-do-do.
That is crazy. Those bitches are tall.
Yeah, they are
Jesus
pretty
Christ.
tall.
Fucking turkeys.
That's why I just fight pigeons.
That's why I just like pigeons.
Yeah,
Fucking
they're
hell.
dirty too.
Yeah, pigeons are little dirty
They're
birds.
filthy.
Little dirty birds. They just look dirty. They just look like they don't give a fuck, and they're just dirty.
No, pigeons don't give a shit.
Oh, pigeons
Oh,
don't.
yeah.
For
Pigeons
sure.
don't give no shits at all.
You know, the population of pigeons went down a lot. Remember back in the 80s and 90s, they just used to be everywhere. Now
yeah.
it's like what? Seagulls, right?
You want
You
to
see a
fight
lot of seagulls.
So is he
Yeah, I
saying he
think
wants
so.
to fight a turkey? I think Ryan wants to fight a turkey. He said 1-on-1. I'll
I
beat
think
a turkey down. Bring it.
I'll beat a
Yeah.
turkey's ass.
Like, I'll beat a turkey's ass. Like, beat me in the alley.
Hey, I think we all want to at one point in time beat a jive turkey's ass.
All right, Shaft.
He's one bad mother.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
That's funny.
Moving on.
Moving on. Next.
Humans put in suspended animation for the first time.
Ooh.
Doctors have put humans into a state of suspended animation for the first time in a groundbreaking trial that aims to buy more times for surgeons to save seriously injured patients. The process involves rapidly cooling the brain to less than 10 degrees Celsius by placing the patient's blood with replacing the patient's blood with ice cold saline
There
solution.
you go.
Typically, the solution is pumped directly into the aorta, the main artery that carries blood away from the heart to the rest of the body.
They work.
Known formally as emergency preservation and resuscitation, or EPR, the procedure is being trialed on people who sustained such catastrophic injuries that they are in danger of bleeding to death and who suffer a heart attack shortly before they can be treated. The patients, who are often victims of stabbing, shootings, would normally have less than a 5% chance of survival. Rapid cooling of trauma victims is designed to reduce brain activity to a near standstill and to slow patients' physiology enough to give surgeons precious extra minutes, perhaps more than an hour, to operate.
Mm-hmm.
Once the patient's injuries have been attended to, they are warmed up and resuscitated. One aim of the U.S. trial is to reduce the brain damage that patients are often left with if they survive such serious injuries. When the heart stops and blood stops circulation, the brain quickly becomes starved of oxygen, suffering irreparable damage within about 5 minutes. The trial will compare the outcomes of 20 men and women who receive standard emergency care of EPR. The trial is due to run into the end of the year, and the full results are not expected until late 2020. One complication of the procedure is that patient cells can become damaged as they are warmed up after surgery.
Right.
NASA considers that full-on hibernation for interstellar travel is still a distant prospect. The U.S. Space Agency is instead investigating ways of putting astronauts into a torpo, so reducing their metabolism for extended periods. So what do you guys think about this?
That's pretty sweet.
I've been bitching about the population problem for a while. And I think we need to do more to stop people from living
oh my god.
than save people. That's just my opinion.
I think it's really
Yeah,
cool.
we were
though.
just talking. It's gonna be like
Because I'm
crazy.
so sick of fucking rush hour traffic.
And that's the reason why.
Yeah.
That is
Absolutely.
it.
That's why we
That's
have
his
to get
only
I'm
rid
so
selling point
sick
right now.
of.
and all this damn
Yeah.
global warming.
Bill Burr's got a really good bit on that
I
whole
just
thing.
listened to that. That's funny. you
So
said that.
cruise ships.
Bill Burr is hilarious. I've actually
He's one of the best there is.
have you listened to his podcast at all?
I've caught a few of his Monday morning. I think it's funny. He'll occasionally do a Thursday morning. He'll call it Monday Morning Podcast on Thursday mornings.
Yeah.
He does good stuff.
Yeah, that's what it is. Monday morning. Yeah,
Right. And he does his Monday morning one because that's either when he's just about to leave a town and he's done a gig in, or he's just come back to Boston or
Yeah.
wherever it is.
But I
he's
think it's
living
cool. Just saying. I think it's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
now.
it is.
It's real science.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing
Yeah.
that's really awesome about
I know
it.
that seemed like a lot to read, but there was a lot of information
Yeah, you
there.
gotta
And
kinda
it's
Yeah.
good
put it
stuff.
all
Yeah.
You read that well.
Yeah, I tried to. This cold fucks me up.
Yeah, that's why you changed the camera angles. I thought that was pretty smart on your part, too. I'll point
Yeah.
out the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, that's fine. So I could.
Better than me just coughing into a microphone. I screw you up all the time on accident, so
It's all right.
you did a good job with switching camera angles. You're a smart guy. That's the
Look at
stuff
him.
you're best at. So you know.
Look at him being all smart over there.
Yeah,
Look
I
at
had
you.
to turn my mic all the way down.
See, right? It's the stuff that you're best at.
Yeah, yeah.
You just you got your talents over
Right.
there.
I guess so.
If I could hire you to be a board op, I'd do it yesterday. But of course, I'd also have to be rich myself to do
Yeah.
such a
Right. So to
thing.
do that, yeah.
I mean, I all jokes aside, I think it's a step in the right direction for us becoming cyborgs
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that's my dream.
That's his dream.
To
Eventually,
fight Terminator
yes,
robots.
yes.
God.
I want like 90% of my body to be cyborg. Like I want to be able to jump like 3 stories.
That's just what I want to do.
Like I want to be able to be like no, like. But I
what
still
you
want to
wanna
be able
do?
to eat though. Like I still want to be able to eat.
I
so
don't enjoy food.
like
so...
one of the last remaining things I'm gonna have is my tongue. That's gonna be
jeez.
organic.
My tongue.
Yeah, but
What is
anything
this
else,
noise?
like
I
it's gonna.
It's
Metal
not,
tongue.
that's not as cool of a noise as I was hoping. For.
Oh, okay.
That's all. I was just seeing what it was.
If you say something really cool over it, so long as it's not like
You
metal
like the
tongue, that wasn't
Transformer
it.
sound.
It's like, damn it, that's not.
Yeah, is there a Transformer song?
I
Do
don't know.
that.
I think there is.
Do that yell you made over that sound effect, and it'll be all right. Gargoyle.
Y'all. No, there's no like transfer. That's
Yeah.
stupid. I'm disappointed in you, sound effects.
Have you guys heard of Fartgate?
Autobots.
Yes, it's hilarious.
What's going on now?
Fartgate.
No, go ahead.
Because you figure it's most likely not the politician who's on air at the time, but there's somebody somewhere who's just all like,
Who
it
was
was during
that?
the impeachment.
Yeah, who was that? Who was that?
Some dem from California, maybe. I don't remember.
Is that
It's-
when the doctor when they were talking?
Well, not while there were actual panelists. Not panelists. That's not the right word. Witnesses.
Mhm.
It's all the commentary afterwards, and he's a guy sitting out in the hallway, and he's talking, and literally as soon as he says, I forget the exact
That's so
line.
funny because speaking of Fartgate, I just watched that for the first time ever, that Natural Born Pranksters movie. And they're at a car, right? And it's like this nice ass like Ferrari or something, and he's talking to the people like, man, I really love your car, that's awesome. And the windows rolled down. He's like, hey, do me a favor. He's like, what? He's like, tell me, does this smell? And he's like,
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
he It's right in the lady's face, dude.
But like I've heard rumors that they've actually taken this to the Supreme Court, Fartgate,
That's
and
so stupid.
and they ruled that thou who smelt it dealt it. So that's the official court ruling in Fartgate.
Really? Whoever smelled, he said, he's like, I am not a crook.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man.
Oh my goodness.
I am not the farter.
There was a cool meme where it's like the guy who's sitting there, there's like a thermal camera. And then when it happens, like a plume of like,
If your hold on, let's do it, OJ. If your pants do not split, you must acquit.
That's clever. Because I've been trying to tie in a Clinton one with the whole like, I did not have farts
Relation.
in that hallway. You gotta put farts on your family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to structure jokes on this one.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if
yeah.
your pants don't split, that's a good one.
Split, yep.
That was good.
that's
Oh,
awesome.
my God.
But
Y'all
we're getting all
terrible.
crazy here, but you know who else is getting crazy?
Not me.
Ashley.
With
our crazy news.
Okay, I guess I am.
Yep. So
Woo,
we'll do the
I-
intro and then we'll be right back.
Yeah.
What do you got for us today, Ashley?
I don't fucking know. I haven't looked at these stories in like a week. Let's see. France clears beaches after bricks of very pure cocaine washed up daily.
Oh my god.
Daily. On the regular. So, beaches in southwest France along the Atlantic coast have been shut down after bricks of cocaine and other drugs, what the fuck, continue to wash ashore. For weeks now, leaving investigators puzzled over where the illicit substances came from. The packages of drugs have turned up daily on beaches as far as 300 miles apart. Let's see, in western France to the resort town of Biarritz. I don't know if that's right. Near the Spanish border to the south, and the prosecutor in the western city of Rennes. I've never been to France. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying.
I took
So-
French in high school. I wouldn't be able to help you out, man.
Okay.
It's a tough
I
language.
think you're doing just
it's
fine.
It
rough.
sounds good enough to me.
It's like, hey, I don't know what you're saying, but that's fine. Astruck, I don't know, is that someone's name? Like, I guess so, because Astruck said authorities have so far recovered 1,920 pounds of drugs
Jesus.
with a street value that could be worth millions of dollars. The
Yeah.
cocaine was especially dangerous, testing at 83% purity. Whew.
You know how much money you can make off of that?
You wonder how much money some people lost?
Right?
Yeah.
Who lost their drugs?
That might have been what's his name, that Pablo Escobar.
Like,
There
who
you
lost?
go.
Did you lose your drugs, sir? You want your drugs back?
I need to file a claim of some missing drugs.
Yeah.
Lots of my drugs are gone. I don't know what happened.
I think it's funny sometimes when they post like ads and stuff like free meth to trap people.
It's
Like they
what?
walk in like, oh, where's my meth? Oh, you're arrested for
Oh,
trying to buy
please
meth.
get the
You were
dumb
trying to
ones
get meth,
easily.
sorry.
Yes.
Well, you said free.
You
I
said it
wasn't
was
trying to
free. I
buy
was
it.
just trying to like grab it because you said it was free. I thought I would just take it and go. It's a very pure product that must not be consumed in this form because there's a very high risk of overdose. With 83%, you don't fucking say. There's absolutely an immediate health risk. I'd say so. Over a dozen beaches have been closed and police are patrolling the areas. Police have already caught a 17-year-old on a closed beach trying to swipe 11 pounds of cocaine.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
He's just like, hey, I'm just gonna take this and go real quick. Investigators were working with European authorities and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency to find out where the drugs are coming from. They said in a statement on Sunday that the drugs could be from South America, having been ditched after a ship hit a storm.
I mean, I blame the whales
Yeah, the whales, they're getting high.
because that's exactly who you would.
Yeah,
That's
they
what
got-
you would
they
think.
have
Drug whales.
blowholes.
Yep.
No.
It's right there in the name.
Yeah.
It's what's
Let's
to be
see.
put in
Is there
there.
any more?
Blow.
Yeah.
Packages of cocaine with similar markings were also found on beaches in Florida in the aftermath of Hurricane Dorian in September. So there's just drugs everywhere floating on the beaches.
Absolutely.
Tons of drugs. So
So-
much drugs.
Somebody's battleship got sunk.
Yeah, somebody's really pissed off right now. Someone's like, God damn it, that's all my drugs. That's all the drugs I had. They're just floating around everywhere.
Could you imagine being like the guys who work on that ship for that ship's captain, though, who's like the head drug dealer guy, and you got to explain it to him? Like, it could be wacky shenanigans in a real bad movie or sitcom.
Could you imagine, like, how you feel being all high as fuck when that storm hits?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Damn.
I've
It's
never
a
been
blizzard.
high, but...
No, it's not a blizzard.
Oh, shit. What? I'm going to applaud you on that one. That was good. All right. Ryan said, I don't blame him. I'd be near the beach as well.
And no, the kid only wanted 11 pounds. There's almost 2,000 pounds. He's not being greedy.
Like, hey, this sand is
Just a
awfully
little.
white.
I'm going to take this home.
The white cascading
Collect the
sand.
Yeah, that'll be in their new brochure.
Right. I'm
Yeah,
White
gonna-
definitely.
sandy beaches
but
filled with cocaine.
But it's not sand. It's all just coke.
And white bitch is named Sandy. Yeah.
I'm
Turn
gonna
it-
applaud you too.
Thanks.
You're welcome. That was really great. That was a nice setup there.
Yep.
I liked it. Okay. So let's see. Next one is unicorn puppy with tail on its face rescued from the streets. Oh,
Oh, I
this
heard
little
about
puppy.
this. I haven't seen him, though.
This little puppy. A unicorn dog with an extra tail on its face has gone viral after being rescued from the streets. This little puppy, Norwal is his name. It's so cute. The puppy was found with another older dog in the freezing cold by Missouri-based nonprofit Max Mission.
It was found by another dog, you said?
With another dog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other dog's like, look, there's another dog.
Yeah, I know. I was like, whoa, shit.
And it's got some shit on its face.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this dog?
We're not making a big deal out of the talking dog that told everybody
Right,
else
no.
about
Yeah,
the dog
exactly.
with a
Exactly.
tail on
It's,
his head.
what is this thing on its face,
Oh,
though?
fucking
Hey, you
Dr.
gotta check out this
Doolittle.
dog.
Right. Exactly. It's like, oh, well, fuck that talking dog. That thing has something on its face. Like, Rescuers quickly noticed the extra tail on his face and sent him in for tests.
The extra tail on his
The
face.
extra tail, because he has a regular tail and an extra tail.
No, I know, but an
On
extra
his
tail on
face.
his face, yeah. I know, like,
They
They're not
found,
two next to each other like the cartoon
Yeah.
character Sonic's buddy.
anyways, they found the tail was not connected to anything else and could not wag, but the organization says the extra part makes Norwal the coolest puppy ever, and he is super cute.
That looks
He is.
creepy.
He's so cute. I would love that. I would love that dog forever.
They're upset that it can't wag. Like,
No,
that's
they
the
just
tough thing about it.
no, they just figured they just kind of like did some tests and they figured out it's not really connected to anything. So
He
it
just shakes his
doesn't-
head hard enough.
maybe if he shakes his head hard enough.
Better it was a
probably.
tail and not the other thing. You got a second one of those
Yes.
growing out of his head. That's not as cute.
The pink thing?
Red Rocket.
you know what his name would be? His name would be Dickhead.
Dickhead.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Norwal's much
Oh,
cuter.
Come here, dickhead.
You guys are just terrible.
I don't know. The dog's got stuff
You can
growing
still
out
call
of
him
his face.
dickhead. It looks like a penis.
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
what one person finds cute.
I think the dog's cute.
I wish
Whatever.
we all
He is
had
cute,
tails.
but that shit on its forehead is not cute.
It's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute.
But if it's a turkey, it's ugly.
Yeah, I don't really
So
care
if I
about
had an
turkeys.
ass on my head face,
It's basically his ass.
It's not his ass, it's
covering.
his tail.
It's not
It's
his
like if you had a
asshole.
third cheek
Right, it's
on
not
your
his
head.
asshole. What the fuck? Like, what do you? It's not.
Well, an
Jeez.
asshole's different than a tail. But
Exactly.
a tail's like a butt cheek.
butt cheek, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So like
Oh
if
my
you had
God.
a third butt cheek and it was
Wrong.
on your forehead.
Incorrect.
So what's that
That's
cartoon where the
incorrect.
butt is the
Incorrect.
Yeah,
face?
South Park. Ben
Park,
Affleck's
yeah.
parents.
Ben Affleck, yeah.
That was a funny episode though.
We
That
love
was
you so
funny.
much. I want some bet.
You guys haven't seen that episode?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah, that's all I have to talk
Oh,
about.
okay.
All right.
What about the eye?
What?
The worm.
I.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying with this
Oh,
story.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I was just moving on to the next one, and you were just like,
Sorry.
what?
She got tired of the joke.
Yeah, butt cheeks on your
Yeah,
head.
I'm like,
and
I
stuff.
think the dog's cute. Fuck all y'all.
Nice,
That's
nice.
basically
He's
it.
cute, yeah.
It's cute enough.
Let's see. Ryan said, "Are you guys sick? Lots of coughing."
Yes.
Yeah.
we are.
All of us.
Mhm.
Some in the head, some physically.
I'm both.
Some both, yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
even third and fourth levels of sickness. I don't even comprehend.
Okay, so woman running on trail ends up getting a bad case of eye worms.
Ooh.
Yeah.
When it comes to the grossest place to get infected with parasitic worms, the eyes have it. Well, there's probably a couple other places that it wouldn't be too pleasant.
Yeah.
So when
Bunghole.
A Nebraska woman found that after running into a swarm of flies on a trail near Carmel Valley, California in February 2018. A month later, she noticed irritation in her right eye. After some close inspection, she found a tiny translucent roundworm, no longer than a half-inch. Ooh,
I heard,
Ah.
those like certain flies carry that parasite. Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out the flies, they were commonly known as the cattle eyeworm.
And they've actually
mainly
been
affect
popping
cattle.
up more often.
Yeah.
Because there was a couple cases in Michigan that we recently talked about.
It's nasty.
And now this one in California.
The Nebraska runner is believed to be only the second person to be infected by the eyebrow-raising insect. That's funny. Back in 2016, a woman ended up with 14 eyeball worms after a fly landed on her eye. It landed up in her eye.
Like, what the fuck? Did it blank?
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, how the fuck I can't even put contacts in.
Like, I can understand that happened in Ethiopia. They don't have the
medicine and shit.
Stop it.
they don't have the energy to blink their eyes.
Stop
Like,
it.
because they're
Shut
eating
your
rocks and shit.
It's
Double
true.
rock burger.
I mean, that's the tough thing about it.
It's true,
Like,
but it's fucked up. Why are you talking?
You don't have
It's
enough muscle
funny.
Shut your
strength to
mouth.
blink.
Well, I was
Stop
just
saying
saying,
words.
like, if they,
Stop talking. Stop saying words.
if they open up a McDonald's in Ethiopia, it'd be like a double rock burger, a McRubble.
McRubble? Is it the Flintstones
you.
now?
I hate you so much.
The shake's just sand.
You get a junior cheeseburger, it's a Barney.
Jeez. Hi.
Hi. Talking about that woman, the first woman who had 14 eyeball worms.
Yeah, that was
They
in
said-
Michigan, right?
That was in Oregon.
Nebraska.
Oregon. I don't know which way to say it. So,
Well, probably.
Oregon.
Yeah, make sure you guys buy some shirts. We need some
Why are
Robitussin.
you like just stop jumping into my craziness.
Sorry.
Leave me alone.
Go ahead.
So if she hadn't had gotten treatment, she probably would have gone blind. So that's a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bad time.
Yeah.
So although this particular species of cattle eyeworm has been infecting North American cows, Live Science notes that scientists still aren't sure why doctors are just beginning to see the parasite in humans. So, yeah, that's a bad time.
How did they treat it? Do you know?
It does not say.
I think you just put
I don't
drops
think.
in your eye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't get into like what they had to do to help her. It's
Fucking
just
worms.
You put a rabbit worm in there. Or no, a frog worm in there.
a frog
The frog
worm.
worm will take care of the fly worm.
Yeah.
But then you gotta get a
Well,
different kind of...
they're so
Yeah,
stupid.
it's
What
like
is
that
the whole
story,
thing,
the whole
right?
cycle,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's
yeah.
that a woman who's
The
swallowed a
live
fly?
worm.
I guess she'll die.
And Allison said that's what you get for exercising.
Yep.
That's right. You go running, you get fucking eye worms. There you go.
See,
Especially in Nebraska.
Epic's gonna get eye worms.
You go right into like a fucking like a fly area, and then you think it's okay. Like I never go into that shit.
So what she gets for being the only person who goes for a run in
In
Nebraska.
Like right, like that's what you get, lady.
There's no
Sorry.
room to run. She's probably running through cornfields or some nonsense.
Like,
No
that's-
shit. So she was asking for it.
Right. There's
But
flies
David
all
should
over
call
the
in
place
on this
there.
one. He would know about Nebraska.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, what's up with your eye worms?
What's
you know?
up with your, what the hell's going on with the eye worms? Why is
Yeah,
that?
why people popping up with eye worms?
Yeah.
Why?
Grew up in Nebraska.
We're just gonna
whoever
we're just
Dave
gonna
is.
ask him, and
It's
be
only
like,
one case, but
Yeah.
Right? Why is that
Well,
happening?
there's two. One in
Well, they're different
Yeah, but
states,
different
though.
states.
We're just blaming Nebraska entirely.
Oh,
at
We're
this
just.
point.
I feel like we're just
F
blaming
Nebraska.
David.
The
Like,
corn-
Yes,
Husker
you don't want
State.
Dave to.
like David, why? What's
How
going on?
dare you employ flies throughout Nebraska, Dave?
David, what
whomever
is
you
wrong
are.
with you? What's wrong with you, David? Why are you doing this?
he's a get to work guy.
Oh yeah, Dave.
Yeah,
Yeah, get to work sending flies all over the place. You say names. I hadn't met Jay before.
Yeah.
I mean, I only realized it was Jay because you said, "Hey, this is Jay." Oh, good to finally
Oh,
really
yeah,
meet
yeah.
you. I don't know anybody. I forgot Larry.
If you listen, Larry, sorry, he forgot you.
Well, I mean, before.
He forgot you before.
Then I met him again, and then.
Then you guys.
then it's
were-
rekindled.
Now
Right.
you guys are
Yeah.
best.
Did Jay go to
buddies.
Rhodes too?
Yes.
Yeah. See, so I.
No, I didn't go to
Jay
Rhodes,
didn't. No, I didn't
No.
think so. But I know like two other Jays who went to Rhodes, and he's not
Yeah.
one of them.
My goodness.
And that's how I figured it out that he's not one of the
So-
other two.
That's it. That's all I got.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
That
We're
was
going to
great and
take a
crazy.
break. When we
crazy.
get back, we're going to talk about some male birth control.
Oh yeah.
And we're going to be playing with
yeah.
some balls. So, because after we have the male birth
gonna-
control,
yeah,
we might
we'll
as well play
with some balls, yeah, because
Guess
we're going
so.
from one unit to another.
Absolutely. We did that on purpose, by the way. We put them
It
two
was
together.
clever.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
We're smart like that.
We'll be right back. Extravaganza!
Extravaganza, woo!
It's technically our Turkey Day episode,
Yes.
but
He just didn't do any graphics.
I didn't do any graphics and stuff. It's been a rough week.
It's not even cool, man.
Well, that's why you got us here, because he could do the sound effects, and I'm a jive turkey, so it's all working.
Yep.
It all worked
Hilarious.
out
The
anyway.
two sports guys.
Mm-hmm.
Jive turkeys.
Before we get into playing with balls,
Before we get into that,
we're going to talk about penises a little bit.
we're gonna talk about some dicks. Here we go.
Dicks first, then the bows.
First,
Yep.
male birth control could be available within the next 7 months.
Yeah.
This male contraceptive that reportedly will last around 13 years could be available to the public in the next 7 months, according to scientists in India.
Hey, Connor.
The Council of Medical Research completed clinical trials for the contraceptive, which has been sent to the Drug Controller General of India for approval. The contraceptive is a replacement for surgical vasectomy and loses potency after about 13 years.
Dang.
The
That's a long
product is ready with only regulatory approvals pending with the drug controller. The trials are over, including extended phase 3 clinical trials for which 303 candidates were recruited with 97.3% success rate and no reported side effects.
What the fuck?
The product can safely be called the world's first male contraceptive.
I'm angry as shit though.
No condoms.
Yep, no condoms.
Oh, great.
Yep,
STD rate just went up.
yep. The contraceptive is polymer that is injected in the groin area under local anesthesia by a registered medical professional or Sam down the street.
Sam down the street, right? Or him.
CBS Philly reports that similar contraceptive called Vasogel is still under development in the United States. So my question to everyone is, who's going to get a prick in their prick?
You said
You are.
Vasogel for your genital.
For sure you are.
The jail for your genitals. I like that.
He's gonna get Tommy. Epic is going to get
Jesus
this done.
Christ.
I didn't do that on purpose. I'm sorry.
We're just all, man,
Crap.
I have a feeling I'm going to be sick.
I'm
This
sorry. I'm
next week.
sorry.
I'm in between
Roll down.
both
All
of
Yeah.
them.
these sick people.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, Jesus.
So for sure you are though. For sure you're getting this done. Like
I'm gonna come
That's
in.
such
I'm gonna come
bullshit.
in next. I'm gonna come in sounding like Ben Affleck's parents on South Park.
You get sick.
Oh,
Jeez.
Jesus.
Oh, crap.
Everybody's
Sorry,
coughing. It's
Ashley.
ridiculous.
Good
Man.
thing I brought a scarf.
Right.
I think I bought a scarf.
Head right to the store and get some Logises.
Yeah.
I gotta combat this shit right
As
now.
soon
Some
as
airborne.
as soon as I leave here, I'm downing
Yep.
a thing of NyQuil.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
just passing out.
With this needle,
With this needle.
Yeah.
is it going into like the vein, like along the side there? They sticking it right
It
in this
doesn't-
little wiener hole.
They don't really... They don't really say yet.
Because if you've never seen
It
a
says
commercial
groin
for
area.
catheters and the way these guys seem so
Oh.
thrilled about it, I've had to get a catheter once or twice in my life. Not a fun time.
That doesn't look pleasant.
It's never enjoyable. So you want to stick a needle in the pee hole?
They're not specific.
Nope.
They're not specific on where
Where it goes.
Yeah. What's your views on this,
You're
Ashley?
getting that done.
Yeah, when you're pulling that thing out, holy shit.
So you're gonna find
Ugh.
out in the next year how that goes.
Needles
You can
this
tell me how it
long.
goes. So that's bullshit that there's no side effects to this and it lasts 13 fucking years.
I knew.
After all
I
this,
knew she was gonna say
After
something.
these fucking because I've been on multiple birth controls and I've been all over the goddamn place. Like I'm gaining weight, I'm breaking out, I'm crazy basically. I feel like I want to die. Like what the fuck?
Well, now,
Fuck y'all.
let's examine this, though.
Well, listen, you shouldn't have grabbed that apple.
We're putting Bible knowledge on you. That's what you get for listening to the snake.
I'm not Eve. What
Shut
the
up, Eve.
Well, I'm saying, I was just joking.
You and all
but-
your type.
Yeah.
But no, when you look at the statistical data, and it depends on who wrote the article too, because
Yeah.
sometimes there's that slight sway in one way or the other. Maybe they claim no side effects. virtually nothing. And they said 87% of people. And how long did this study go over? You'd have to do it for the 13 years
right?
to know if it would work for 13 years, right?
They did it for 6 months.
6 months, and they claim, yep, it's great. We're going to be
Yeah,
fine.
true that, right?
This guy didn't have his dick
Well, it's
fall off.
97.3 success rate.
97.3.
His nuts are gonna shrivel
Yeah,
up.
that's what I said.
And it's out of how many?
That's-
Like 1,000 or so people?
That's good enough for me.
Well, it's condoms have the same success rate.
No, well, they have a higher success rate.
Yeah.
What's higher than 97%?
99.9.
Like 99.
I know. I think condoms are at 97.
I'm pretty sure they're 99.
Allison agrees. That is bullshit. Thank you, Allison.
But in that article, and I'll reference, if you could help me out with that, it was like 1,000 some people, right?
I was like, why do women get all the
303
repercussions?
candidates.
Only
We're not
303?
That's not that.
That's
many
not
people.
great. I mean, that's a lot, but it's not a lot.
Tommy's getting it done. We'll tell you how it goes.
All right.
Yeah, we'll tell you
my
about that.
balls will fall off.
Yeah, his balls will fall off, and then
And it's
guess
just
what?
gonna be. It's just gonna be a
Fine.
skin of sack.
Right, and I'll just like
Ew.
smack
Wait,
it.
a sack of skin.
He'll just
Like,
be
I said that
flicking it
backwards.
around like.
It's not even a penis anymore.
He's
You
not
can't
the
even
man
pee
he
out of
What do you
it.
mean?
He's not the man he used to be.
He's peeing out of a finger now.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You know
They had to
what?
cut a
That would be
hole there.
That would be kind of useful. Like as long as he keeps his hands clean. Like he just has to like put his finger into like a random place.
There's old pee hands
oh, there we
epic.
go.
It's
Let's
just
wash my
gonna be
hands.
hanging there like this.
Right. You can tell he's really happy to see somebody.
Ryan said 3% of people get eye worms from it.
There you go.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
Yes.
So
Injected in the groin area.
Yeah.
groin
Oh,
area.
good.
Yeah.
That might even just be your
Your
Yeah.
thigh or whatever.
other
Like,
place there, Does
Might
it
be
have a
above it.
name?
Does it have a name?
Yeah.
That area above the dick,
I
but
call
below
it
your
Little
gut?
Epic. What are you talking about?
Your pelvic?
Is it the pelvic bone?
The
I don't know what it
pelvis?
is. Yeah, something like
Your
that.
pelvis.
Pelvis.
Pelvis Elvis.
See, it might not be as bad as you guys are thinking it's gonna be,
Oh, all of it seems bad.
and all of it seems bad.
Especially if I
but
don't wind up with eye
I mean, the
worms
local
or...
anesthesia will help.
Well, I
That'll
mean,
help.
I don't think. Well, maybe the only one here, I think,
Yeah, he's the
maybe
one who's gotta worry
Tom
about it,
would, Epic would have to worry about
Yeah,
because he has like 50 kids.
he's gonna have to get this done. So
He's got sperm of steel,
He
apparently.
does.
I got
He's
one in
really
every
strong.
state.
one in
Plus
every
some
state. Seriously.
Then there was this one time I got drunk in France.
Doing
One time
cocaine
he
on the
took.
beach.
One time he took a pill in
Ibiza.
Ibiza. Yeah, so he has.
So he
Couple
needs to
kids
get
there.
this done. So his sperm are like you cannot. They just they're
Yeah,
potent
they're
as hell.
tired out.
He's like the Johnny Appleseed of cum.
His sperm's gonna go on strike.
He got little peace signs.
Yeah.
No, we won't
So we're tired of this.
All my sperm are with walkers and shit.
Basically, like oh god.
It's dust when it just.
Like, yeah. Call me the Sandman.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man.
Oh, that's funny. That's
All
okay.
right, so we're
I think
gonna
we
go
talked
right
about that
into
enough, didn't we?
Yeah.
So it's playing with balls time.
Ball time. Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah.
All right,
So
that's fine.
Okay,
There we go. Got
better
it.
now.
All right,
Thank
there we
you.
go.
We didn't say anything important anyway.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing important.
Was that an overtime loss, or
Yeah,
was it in the third
this
period?
was 4-3
It was the
against the
Winnipeg
Jets.
not
Yeah.
Boston.
So we're good. No important stuff was said yet.
All right,
So,
here we go. Now we got everything good.
That snaps their 3-game winning streak. It's tough because they're playing 500. You wouldn't call it ball. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
9-9-4.
Right, but they're still towards the bottom of their division just because there's a lot of really good teams in
teams,
hockey
yeah.
this year.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Whereas
What
last
the
year that was
fuck
good
was
enough for them
that?
to get to like the 6th seed in the playoffs or whatever it was. Or a couple years ago they were the 8th seed with a losing record.
Yeah.
This year they're gonna have to.
Everybody's just going to ignore that enormously
No, I
loud
heard-
sound.
I heard
I
it.
looked
I just-
down.
Yeah, I'm
to
like,
make
what
sure
was
I didn't
it?
hit something.
I think you did, you motherfucker.
Oh, you think it was me?
No,
I was just
I-
gonna blame it on
yeah.
what's her face.
I don't know. But
I just always blame her for stuff on this
And-
thing.
and-
Rachel, what is
No,
that?
dude.
so
Gotcha.
the Blue Jackets, they play tomorrow at 7:00. They play the Senators. I do believe that's a home game though.
Yeah,
So
that'll be good for them.
yeah, for sure.
Get on the home ice.
Yeah, and then I mean that's all I got for hockey. But for the Cavs, they actually just beat the Trailblazers 110-104.
Clarkson scored 28.
Yeah, that's good, man. He's been a disappointment.
Well, especially after a night where he scored 0 in Dallas.
Yeah.
That it was tough. We ended like 5-game losing skid. We've got some home cooking coming up. This was the first of like 6 home games. I think the only one that was really tough in that stretch was when we lost to the New York Knicks by like 20 or 30.
Yeah, that was just. I mean, that's
Ugh.
crazy. I mean, the Knicks. I was expecting them to.
It's
What
a winnable
about-
ball game, man.
And what about that blowout loss we just suffered? Was it 141 to like 102
Yeah, we
or something like
lost
that?
by
Yeah.
a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? The Mavericks could be a nice sleeper pick to win the whole thing.
Yeah, the Mavericks. Man,
Between
Doncic is a.
Zizic and
Yeah, Doncic is a beast, man.
Mhm.
I mean, that dude is just. He just dropped like 40-something points.
Zizic is the wrong name.
Yeah. That's
Porzingis.
Porzingis.
Ah,
Yeah, the
terrible with all these
unicorn.
foreign
Yeah.
names.
There's a lot of European guys coming in the league. now.
Exactly. They're showing
But no,
their work.
Zizic is on our roster.
That's why I screwed it up. I almost said Zildrunas.
The main thing about the Cavs that I was gonna bring is Darius Garland has not been the offensive threat that he was supposed to be.
Right.
But he's still young though, so I mean you got to give him a chance.
I think the ultimate goal here with this team is we know Chetty Osman should not be a starter in this league. He had a nice game last night.
Yeah,
He played his ass off.
Chetty's he's I think he's one of those players that can come off the bench and give you a spark. To be in a starting lineup is not. Like you said, he's not really a starting caliber player.
And so I think a big reason why they went and they got Porter is that Porter would come in to take the role that Clarkson currently has. Clarkson becomes a starter. And
Yeah.
Garland does a nice job as a point guard. I'm not expecting a lot of scoring from him, but I would like to see more assists.
My thing is
He does okay.
My thing is why the hell did we take back-to-back point guards in the draft?
That's really weird.
That's just something the Cavs would do.
Well, Colin Sexton, he's playing a more traditional swing to
Two
almost
guard.
Jordan type early in his career.
Yeah.
Not that I'm going to make that comparison.
They all said that. I mean, it was said that he was more of a 2 guard, anyways.
I mean, it's
coming
what
out, but-
it's what Kyrie Irving should do.
Yeah, man. Looking at it now, you know who I really wish we got was John Morant, man.
Ooh,
If he could have
not a
fell
bad
to
pick
us,
there.
I would have loved that. But
Right.
man, we got screwed out of the draft this year.
Well, that's why I've never believed in tanking.
Yeah,
We're going to
because
rely on ping pong balls.
Yeah, it doesn't.
If the lottery doesn't work for us
listen,
in real life,
It's rigged.
It
They
is.
they did that just so the Lakers could get that pick to trade for Anthony Davis. So the Pelicans could get the number 1 overall pick to get Zion, just
and then
so
another good enough player.
a good enough player, and all their roster's stacked by the way. now.
Pelicans are another good team.
Yeah,
They could do something in the East.
and shoot, Zion's not even.
Right, once he's
There
healthy,
yet,
just
yeah.
think.
So
They got even JJ Redick coming off, or no, he's a starter down there. But
yeah,
good.
he's a shooter though,
Gotta
man.
have.
I like him, man. I would have liked him on the Cavs roster.
Well, we had the less expensive version. Who was that white guy?
Oh man.
Is there any comments so far? No. Okay.
But yeah, Yeah, I don't know if we can move on. I mean,
Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver. Yep, there we go. There we go.
We had the low rent version.
You know what though, Kyle
It wasn't
Korver.
cheap.
Actually, Kyle Korver at one point in time when we got him from Atlanta, he was actually the top 3-point shooter in the league.
His first go around with Utah, he was one of the best too.
Yeah, so
he has peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
Funny thing about when we were playing the Blazers, Carmelo Anthony out there in 0-0.
Yeah.
Watching Carmelo Anthony.
That's good. I'm glad that he's back though. You know, I mean, that was kind of crappy. No teams were like giving him a shot.
Right.
The thing is though with him is because the game has changed offensively.
Yep.
And he cannot play defense for shit.
He doesn't even bother.
Yeah, he doesn't even bother playing defense. So, but all right, so we can move on. I don't really have any. You got any news for the?
There's been
baseball?
a couple of big signings. This is the thing, and unfortunately, I don't want to call it Indians Twitter because these people are so anti-Indians. It seems all the time, just hashtag fire Tito and just crazy nonsense.
Yeah.
And now that the Chicago White Sox,
I would not let Tito go.
Tito can retire from his position whenever he feels it's his time.
What do you guys think about this Francisco Lindor possible trade?
We were just talking
What do you mean
about
possible trade?
Well, he's going on.
You mean free agency?
He's going on free agency.
Well,
so,
that's still 2 years away.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was coming up this year.
The next season, yeah, but
he's got 2 years of arbitration eligibility.
Oh
left.
yeah, okay.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he'll sign like a $20 million 1 year deal this year, or maybe 16, and then the following year it'll be 20 unless he's been traded or signed to a long term deal by then.
Yeah.
But see, because those things are already in place, why mess with it other than for the stability
I
of
think you guys
making your
are-
fan base feel better?
I think you guys are a little off on that. I'm telling you,
No,
man.
you tell me what.
I'm just
Francisco
saying.
Lindor's his contract is coming.
It
due.
is. It's this year. It's during the winter. He's going on free agency.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm-
read what you have.
Francisco
the truth.
Lindor landing spots. 4 teams that could be interested in a blockbuster trade this winter.
That's a trade.
Well,
Trade
that's
is a free agency.
That's not free agency.
No, I understand, but there's been talks of this.
Yeah, we know.
Well, yeah, because
Well, that's what I'm talking about. What do you guys think about this possible trade?
Oh, that's
okay,
a trade, but that's not free
okay.
agency.
But that's what I started off with.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah,
I
but then
said
you started
started-
talking about free agency.
Fuck both of you.
No, okay,
Fuck
okay.
both of you.
No, I mean, well, here's the thing. I don't want to. That's a cornerstone of a franchise.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
piece,
Like,
so,
so
I mean,
there are talks that Lindor could be possibly
the only reason why
interested in a trade.
we would trade him is the same thing we just did with Trevor Bauer.
That is a great example.
Because Trevor Bauer kept wanting to sign 1 year deals. He wasn't like committing long term.
He was still in arbitration as well.
Yeah, he was too.
And
yeah.
this is why you'll see this great parallel between the two. You had 4 opportunities in which you could have traded Bauer. One would have been before last season. One would have been during the middle of last season, which was when it happened. One would be now during this offseason. Or one would be during next year's
trade deadline.
Right.
Yeah.
And so now Lindor's going through the same exact thing.
Yeah.
There are 4 possible places in time in which you could trade him. Let's say the Indians suck. They're 20 games under
They
500
need
or
pieces,
something.
yeah.
And they've got Lindor, who they could trade for 7 guys. Now, the only reason why I don't like this is because there's always this whole like magical unicorn
Prospects
minor league.
and-
Bam. That's
Yeah.
the exact word. We'll get prospects.
For prospects that may never pan out.
Yeah.
at
Matt
all.
Laporta Jr.
Yeah. Where you have a guy like Frankie Lindor that is pretty much like, to me, I mean, he's like an Omar Vizquel type player.
Guarantee the next 7 to 10 years.
Yeah, he's
The dude will still
All-star.
be playing well.
Yeah.
You've got Mike Trout. You've got probably Machado.
Now, why do you
That's
think
about
it is? Why do you think it's so hard for some of these players to commit?
well.
It's on both sides, yeah.
Yeah, it's on both sides. One main thing is that baseball basically has no salary cap. So when you have bigger market teams, they can swoop in like the Yankees and sign whoever the hell they want. When you have an owner that doesn't want to fork up the money,
And on top of it too is why pay him 30 or 40 million right now when you can just pay him 16 to 20. There's economics involved. And when you look at the whole payroll as a whole and the fact that the Indians make, they make $300 million in a year. The Yankees make $600 or $700 million in a year.
yeah,
So when your payroll is $120 million,
we're a smaller market team.
Right, and that's more than just the mere excuse of small market team.
Yeah.
It's, does your ownership want to spend 50% or more of the money that it brings in on its player budget. I mean, just think of any other business that you've worked in, anything else. I mean, we've worked in grocery stores and things like that before. What we made in that store was 5 to 10% of the budget.
Yeah.
So think of it that way. I mean, the fact that the Dolans
like
spend 30 to 40%.
your labor cost for the
Exactly.
day is like
Yeah.
way low.
The Yankees' labor costs are around 30%. That's why they can have a $200 million roster, because they're making $600 million.
Yeah.
When the Indians are making $300 million and they're spending $150 million on roster, which is what they did 2 years ago, and that's why they cut it before last season. The Brantley thing, I think, is probably the only one that I'm still both ways
I don't
on.
understand why they let him go.
I think the thing is that he did want to go somewhere else to try to win a ring, because I don't think he thought he could do it here.
Yeah.
He went to his best option to win a ring.
Houston.
He only made that team better. They didn't even necessarily completely need him.
They didn't need him. No.
But he made that team better as well. I mean, it wound up bringing so much depth to that outfield, and they were one of the best teams in Major League Baseball last year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they added him.
Yeah.
I hated to see him go, but
Me too.
I knew it
Has
was
there
coming
been any
anyways.
more talks about the Astros?
about the whole
cheating?
cheating thing? Oh yeah,
They might have to even suspend that title. There's rumors of that going around.
that'd be good.
Because they cheated.
Yeah, they did.
Jeez.
But yeah, we'll see what happens with that story. But next, I almost had a heart attack. It was a great game yesterday with the Buckeyes. I almost had a heart attack in the last minute of the game when they kept Justin Fields in the game.
You bring up a good point.
And it looked like he almost broke his leg the way he landed on it. But
I didn't get quite that feeling once I saw the second
me too.
replay, and I was
initial
like,
reaction when you first
it was more
seen it.
reaction, and then I'm like, let me see this replay again. Oh, it's almost like he just got the wind knocked out of him.
What it is, what scared me is the way what scared me was the way the defensive player landed on his leg. So, but when he popped back up, I was like, all right, we're good to go. Because right now, Ohio, we won 28-17 against a good Penn State team. Now, that was a good game.
Yeah.
A really good game up until the second half when Ohio State started pulling away. But I think, we still got a big game next week, which even though Michigan's ranked, out of the top 10, they're still going to be a tough opponent for Ohio State.
They always are.
Yeah, and we're going into Ann Arbor, so we're not going to be home for that one. It's going to be a little bit of a hectic atmosphere, but I think Justin Fields stays healthy. This team can win the national title this year, I think,
or at least be playing in the national championship.
Yeah, definitely.
I can see that. It's probably us and what is it,
LSU or Clemson.
Man. Yeah, Clemson keeps sticking around.
Yeah, Clemson. Yeah, they got that would be an awesome game between Clemson and Ohio State, because I grew up, what the heck? I grew up a Buckeyes fan, but I actually followed Justin Fields and Trevor Lawrence in high school and in the Elite 11 when them two faced off, man. So for them to go against each other a little bit in a national championship, that'd be pretty cool.
That kid's a really good quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence? Oh, he's amazing.
I was amazed that Fields had come into the game with 31 touchdown passes and only one pick.
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Oh, he's been taking care of the ball good.
My goodness.
Well, are we ranked number 1 yet?
No, 2. We're number 2.
This is what we were talking about even last week. The rating system is so jacked up.
It is, yeah.
It is, because we're 11?
Well, the reason
12?
why it was really strange was we were ranked number 1 in the country. We won a game.
Well, yeah, in the football playoffs, we were ranked number 1, and then it
was Rutgers, and after beating Rutgers.
Yeah, we went
dropped to 2.
And then LSU got number 1. I think because LSU beat Alabama.
We beat Maryland. Put up 73 points, and it was like, well, LSU barely beat Bama, so now they're number 1.
There's been a couple games this year where we went over 70 points or 60, 70 points. Like
the
2
offense
games.
clicks way better than it did last year.
Justin Fields was that big difference, and that's the only thing we were talking about.
And just think how weird that is to say, because Haskins threw like 50 touchdown passes last year.
He broke the record. And
we somehow managed to improve a quarterback.
Yeah, Ohio State.
Any comments?
Let's see. Ellison said, "Yeah, that was scary. I'm not sure what that was about."
About
though.
The running, yeah, that whole
That
play
whole thing?
that they ran. I was
Yeah.
like, I would have just
4th and 5 even.
give it to
too.
JK, man, and let
Oh,
him.
hell, just punt it.
Yeah, dude.
Connor
Don't.
said,
You're up by
"Go
2
Michigan."
touchdowns.
LOL.
We'll see, man.
yeah.
And Ryan said he said nope to the Astros sports stuff. That's what he said. He said nope.
Well, no.
Know what?
To the Astros sports
Probably because of the
No,
he's
new
from
news.
Houston.
Oh, he says no. He doesn't want the title taken away.
Yeah.
They probably won't take it.
I mean, at the
away.
end of the day, no.
At the end,
Unless
of the
it winds
day.
up being as big as like the Black Sox scandal in 1919 or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, that. But
Like,
I don't see him taking it away.
Well, I mean,
They might.
could.
it makes for a good movie.
Yeah. I just think, going back to the NFL, and NFL, geez, the Patriots did the whole Deflategate thing, and they still kept their title.
Right.
So
You
we'll
have
see.
to forfeit a draft pick.
Yeah,
It
right.
doesn't matter in baseball.
Dude.
You can draft a guy in the 40th round, and you still got
Yeah, and
somebody.
then with the Patriots, it doesn't even
Yeah,
matter.
but what does that say for the league? Is that going to be like, okay, so we let this go? I mean, what's going to stop them next year from doing it again?
Yeah, it'll just turn into the NFL then.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. To me though, I kind of see where they're coming from with the stealing signs and stuff, but then it's also like, well, if you kind of like research and do, to me, it's kind of I'm on the fence about it because it's kind of like information that you can probably like scout and do it anyways and get like, I mean, it's kind of crappy that they had to go to the lengths to do that, but I mean, it's not. If they do scouting reports and like whatever, I mean, I'm sure they can figure out that stuff anyways.
Like all of those unwritten rules in baseball, and this falls under that to about this specific point where there is an actual rule that says you cannot use, electronic equipment.
Yeah,
And I think
yeah.
that's where the Astros
where it
cross the
cross-
line.
okay, yeah.
And because it's one thing if you've got a dude leading off second and he's peering in and he like winks at the guy who's batting,
Yeah,
or
and
he,
yeah.
he does one of these or he does one of these.
So they were actually videotaping and all
Video
that shit, yeah.
going in there, and it was a relay from the bullpen
Yeah.
to the actual
Oh
dugout.
yeah, they were cheating, no
So
doubt about it.
manager, then there's a lot of guys who can wind up being under fire.
There was even stuff. Well, we talked about this last week. Where the Yankees would, when they were in the Yankee Stadium, and they would just demolish the Astros, and then when they go to Houston, they couldn't beat them. So I mean, I don't know. So it did play a favorite in the series, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and the Astros had more home games.
Yeah,
The weirdest
Yeah.
thing about it, though, was that every single road team won in the World Series. But I think the Astros tried to not cheat during the World Series. Oh, because this also does go back to 2017.
well,
too, is when it was
you remember
primarily
that
going.
our Trevor Bauer even
He
came
said
out
it
and said they were cheaters
during the regular season.
regular season. He
in
made
2017.
comments about it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He said they're cheaters.
Yep.
I remember that because he took a lot of heat for that,
Yep.
but he was true.
Yep.
That's a tough thing, is when people kind of just dislike a guy because of a particular attitude that he may show sometimes.
Yeah.
But it turns out he's
Trevor
not
Bauer's
a liar.
a good guy, though. I mean,
That's what I'm
think,
saying.
yeah.
Bauer's a good guy. Miles Garrett's a pretty good guy, too.
Yeah, let's get on to the next subject. So, what you guys? We got the Cleveland Browns. Our Cleveland Browns coming up. Game today against the Miami Dolphins. I'm pumped. 3 of our starting D linemen are out.
Right, an injury
So-
and 2 suspensions.
2 suspensions and injury.
We've got some injury problems over in the secondary.
Secondary,
as well.
yep. Murray
Right.
is out. Njoku's still going to be out on the offensive side of the ball.
So, yeah, no starting tight
So do you
ends.
think? So what are your guys' prediction about this whole Mason Rudolph and?
My own kid.
I mean, with him doing this appeal for the suspension, I mean, what do you think the outcome's going to be?
It's already
Yeah.
upheld. Like it's
It's upheld. I
definitely-
didn't hear.
There
the
is
ruling.
one more caveat to it,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now he has to accept it,
Mhm.
which, I mean, they kind of make you accept it.
Yeah.
That's like saying your 2 options are accept this or never play
Never
in the
play
NFL again,
again, yeah.
basically. But he can choose to not accept it, and I think that would be very valiant on his part. I mean, sometimes you got to do what's bigger than you
Yeah.
playing the game is.
Yeah, like I think I think what was said with Myles Garrett that came out in that hearing was, I can't say for sure that Mason Rudolph said that, but there's a lot of instances where that has happened on the bottom of a pile or even in the middle of a game. So I mean, saying Myles Garrett's a liar is something that I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'm not going that route.
I'm not going that route with it
because Myles Garrett isn't.
No, I don't think he is either. But I also like everyone's saying, oh, why'd he wait so long to come out? Well, there could be various reasons why he didn't come out right away and say that. I mean, his team could have said, hey, let's not go that route. Or maybe he just thought it was in his best interest to try to see if it's going to go away to possibly not go that route.
Between himself, close family, organization, and the league itself, those are plenty of places where they would have said, hey, you know what, if that's what you felt you heard, say it during the deposition where we can keep it just honest and simple, and it's between you and Thrash and whomever else is in the room. And then, of course, that's what's leaked.
Yeah.
And so it's why
they didn't want none of that coming out.
Garrett said after the fact, even, and I believe him.
Yeah, I do too. So it sucks to lose him. The big picture is losing someone of that magnitude for the rest of the season, especially when we are actually in a playoff push right now.
Well, yeah, and they, and the fact that is it still indefinite or is it just the
that's
season?
Where it's sitting.
Yeah, he's gonna
and that's ridiculous.
He's gonna have to.
How could you not put a definite?
Especially
ridiculous.
Since the CBA and the way it's written, it's like they're just making up their rules now because they're completely against what the CBA says. And I'm really surprised that this weak ass NFLPA, this players union, is just standing by and letting it happen.
Yeah, I thought they would have
get the lawyers out in full force now.
I honestly thought the
that's why you have it.
I thought the Players Association was gonna actually knock the suspension down to maybe at least 4 games.
4 felt justified.
Yeah, I think so too.
Based on previous incidents, 6 at least is a definitive number, and you say it. Yeah, and that's fine. Make it a number.
Yes,
but don't say indefinite.
That's what I don't like. I don't like that wording.
Right,
indefinite.
Yeah.
What is that? 3 years?
Because that
2
means
years?
he has to go and he actually has to do what Josh Gordon did now. He has to apply for reinstatement. And then
That's
the commissioner,
ridiculous.
then the commissioner actually says, "Okay, you can come back or you don't."
It's where you got to fight Roger Goodell on this because he's giving himself too much power in a situation like this. He's just making executive orders and decisions like W and Barack did.
He's the worst
executive decision because I'm Goodell.
Yeah,
I'm the best Dell.
And then
I'm more than a mere Goodell.
And the sad thing about this is like he's messed up shit so bad in the past that now he's got to make huge examples of stuff.
Precisely.
So now Myles Garrett's suffering
because many guys had concussions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or like even the Ray Rice situation was kind of messed up.
But when you look at it and we put it in the parameters of on the field, and you look at what's that right legal term for it? It's things that have happened in the past. And you have to judge accordingly. 2013, a guy ripped another guy's helmet off, swung it at the other guy. Got 2 preseason games and a regular season game. That's about as even as you can get. And look at something that was more egregious as an on-the-field incident that wound up with the longest period of time of suspension until this one, the Albert Hainsworth one.
Yeah.
And a 4 to 6 pound helmet, if you do it right, that might cause a little bit of damage. That'll hurt you.
Yeah.
Having a bunch of tiny little knives stabbed into your head with the force of a 300-pound man's leg.
Yeah.
Causing 30 stitches.
Yeah, he
could have killed the guy.
Yeah, so
and Hainsworth got 5 games.
Yeah. So like I was explaining to him like I've played football.
Yeah, you played.
I've been hit with a helmet and all that. I mean they were making out like blowing out of proportion, like he could have killed him. Get the hell out of here. I mean, if hit right, anything,
the temple
a blunt object, but
a baseball can do.
Yeah,
but this is where we get into force and velocity, and that's why I mentioned the science of things at a couple of different times. And even the honky tonk man thing. An acoustic guitar weighs as much or more than a football helmet. Yeah. But a brick also weighs about as much as a baseball helmet or a basketball helmet, a football helmet. Damn it! See,
bring bricks.
Hell out of it. So, but the thing is a 5 pound helmet is a 5 pound brick is a dense weight, and it's right there, and it's compact, and when you hit, guy brick, that's the force, everything else. Helmet, the weight's distributed differently, and then acoustic guitar, weight distributed
And he actually hit him with the...
And it was the side.
Yeah, it was like the open part.
Yeah.
So like how you put the helmet on, he hit him with the underneath part. So like it would have actually done nothing to him because the padding in the helmet. But I mean, it could have maybe scratched him or something.
Right. At the end of the day, they'll worry so much more about the what
He was just trying to put it on.
Yeah,
he was just trying to put it back on. Yeah.
He said, "Hey, buddy, I accidentally ripped this off."
Sorry, here it is back.
It's just, but these guys kept, pulling me back, so I couldn't get it on. I missed.
That's another thing
That's
too.
my
Like,
arm.
why would you? I don't know. It's a whole another.
I mean, at the end of it all, what Pouncey did was the worst thing.
Yeah, he was
stomping on the guy's head.
stomping on him,
Thank
punching
goodness
him,
his
kicking
helmet
him.
was still on.
Ryan has a prediction.
Okay.
What's the prediction?
He said, "My prediction is one of the teams will win, some will cry, others will cheer. Awesome game, well played, way to go."
That's
Yay.
that's like the best. Yeah, that's right on.
Yeah, I agree with that prediction.
Yeah.
Do you know in all the games that the Browns have lost this year, the other team has scored more points than them? And in all the games that the Browns have won this year, they've scored more points than the other team?
Yeah, makes sense.
Sorry, that's stupid.
Sorry, that's stupid.
I say that one to my brother all the time. He's like, yeah, I know.
I'll tell you one thing about the Browns is like they've been in a lot of close games this year, so I think we'll be. I mean, it's gonna be like a long
Prediction
shot to try
for today's game, though. What are we looking at?
I think the Browns are gonna win today.
What's the spread of us?
Spread something like 8 points for the Browns. That's a really weird thing. That's the only reason why I'm going with the Dolphins. And I'm only doing 2017 Dolphins, mostly because I'm so superstitious that when I pick the Browns to lose, they win. But if I'm aware of that...
That's how my
does that
dad
mean it
is.
doesn't
He's
work?
like, I can't watch it. They're winning.
I'm wearing the same T-shirt and hat that I wore during the last 2 wins.
Yeah.
So if that funky smell you smell,
That's me.
that's me.
That's me.
I mean, it's not like I sleep in it and stuff. I just
Yeah,
wear it
yeah.
during
Do
the
you?
game.
I mean, do
no,
you?
you're
Would
good.
I sleep with a hat on?
Maybe.
Well, no, I got that thing done. They injected it in the...
And the
Yeah, so I don't have to have a hat on anymore.
What the you
No, the
went,
penis thing,
you
right?
went, you went through
Or
with the suspended.
Yeah, there we
animation.
go.
Yeah.
I live my entire life like I'm in suspended animation.
suspended animation forever.
Huh? It's a dream sequence. Madonna?
Madonna?
What are you doing in here?
That ain't the honky
Get outta
tonk man.
here.
That's Elvis.
All right.
Oh, my
All right.
goodness.
And then it turned into Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
like,
that's
how
how
it's
did
my
this-
laugh.
how
I'm
did this
sorry.
happen?
I've got the weirdest laugh. It's somewhere between Mickey Mouse and Michael Jackson had a bastard child. Yeah, would you imagine that sex, though? Mickey Mouse and Michael Jackson?
No.
I think
don't. No,
honestly,
I don't think so.
Mickey probably.
Mickey would be the
Mickey,
top.
Mickey and who would it be?
God.
It had to be Mickey and someone else
Yeah,
that
Mickey
made
would
Michael
probably be at
Jackson.
top.
Oh, Mickey and somebody else to make Michael Jackson. Oh, crud.
This should be a
Wheezy
new
from the
segment.
Jeffersons?
Yeah.
No, that's stupid because her voice is too deep.
Oh my god. Chris said Browns win by 10 points.
That's a good. That I can
I
see
mean,
that.
that's
His prediction.
if I were doing it for real, that's probably what I would say.
Yeah,
but I
for
can't do
sure.
it for real because I need the Browns to win.
And if they're are they
I'd say
giving
by a
Miami
touchdown.
8?
I think that's right.
I would take the
Browns.
spread. I would definitely.
It's the reason why I went with
Yeah.
the Dolphins is I do a pick 'em on Thursdays.
Actually, because of who's out and stuff, I'll say the Browns, but I'll say by field goal.
Yeah, it'll wind up being a little closer.
Yeah, it will. We'll see though, man. Because Miami is a mess right now.
They won 2 out of their last 3 though.
Yeah, they
And
have
Fitzmagic always shows up.
against the Browns.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the only thing, man. Is if he has a good game, but we'll see, man. Our corners are getting better each week, man.
Oh yeah.
The more and more Denzel Ward and Greedy are on the field together,
Well,
they
what
look
was-
really good.
So good about our turnaround there was that we'd always stop the pass pretty well, but we were getting better at stopping the run.
Yeah,
And we were forcing turnovers in that game against Pittsburgh.
yeah,
Our biggest thing on offense is don't commit turnovers. I know this is all the simple stuff. I know, like, I tend to just kind of say the most basic bitch stuff.
yeah.
But
Ha ha ha, he's a basic.
force turnovers and don't turn the ball over yourself.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
key.
time of possession and gain more yards than the other team, and you win the
Yeah.
ball game. I mean,
Yeah.
I know it's the easy stuff.
And
Stop the run the ball well. I mean,
Yeah, you run that ball.
I know we take it 1 week at a time, but next week, man, they better bring the fire, man.
Bring the fire. They better bring that fire.
At Pittsburgh.
They
Yep.
gotta set everything on fire.
Yep.
Hey, if it winds up being both of us in studio next week, we'll we might just do all Brown Steelers for 10 minutes and then just
jeez.
dip, because that's a game we gotta go. So I gotta make sure I'm watching that whole thing from before kickoff.
And they move the time to
then
1
it's
o'clock.
1 again.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
All right. Well, was that it for Play with Balls?
yeah, that's all I got.
All right. Well, we're going to. Well, that's the show basically.
Yeah, that is the show.
Yeah.
All of us. Here at the Epic
Real
Radio
good,
Show.
huh?
Yeah.
The Epic was all going on about, I don't know, you guys have some similarities in your styles with some differences. That worked well.
Yeah, it worked well. I thought so.
Yeah,
I mean, and we're both not just sports guys. We got other takes.
Yeah, man. Like, we had a bunch of stuff to say
We
on
can talk
it.
about penises.
You can talk about penises all day.
Peni. What is the plural of penis?
Came up with a new Christmas
why do you
shirt.
think I
That
wanted
was
you guys?
good.
Yeah,
Yes.
see?
Why do you guys think I wanted you guys
bring the fire.
to sit together? Like I thought you guys would click. You guys both
Yeah.
know sports very well.
But we just said it was more than
Well,
sports.
I know. I'm
Epic.
just saying.
But
just,
that's like that
listen.
was his primary point.
yeah.
Yeah.
That-
But
that's what he thought.
I knew you guys would get along. Is all I'm
Me.
Oh,
saying.
yeah, for sure.
Well, because we're good people. This is
man.
another thing that you actually do very well is you surround yourself with good people. Larry's good people. Chris is good people. Us and Jay, well, I mean, I can't speak for myself, but Jay seems like a pretty good guy.
I mean, I'm half and half. Yeah,
It's-
like 55%, 45%.
But we all could get along because we discuss well, and
Oh, yeah,
we're
for
you know,
sure.
even if we have
Absolutely.
disagreements, I mean, we agreed on pretty much everything and saw each other's insights when they were slightly different.
Yeah.
We just interrupt you all the time, which we're still doing.
I mean, one of us doesn't like the Thanksgiving pizza, but
Oh, that's her.
Don't like that shit.
She's the one who disagrees with everyone all the time.
yeah,
I
she
think
does.
yeah, that's my whole thing.
That's
I just
your
don't like
role.
no,
Yeah.
She's
oh,
gotta,
you are wrong.
she's got to be the rebel. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
Like y'all are fucking wrong.
I gotta be honest with you though, it's not like I would order one of those pizzas.
No.
I'd have a slice.
Absolutely not.
We'd have to like experiment with that because there's an establishment on Cleveland's west side. They make a pierogi pizza.
Oh,
They
yeah.
make it's the hamburger pizza. It's got the pickles on it and all that
Oh
stuff.
God,
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
know.
Sounds fantastic.
No
That sounds
pickles.
good to me,
Oh,
man.
God.
But anyways, we're
Why the
gonna take
pickles?
off. So
right.
everyone can go watch the Browns game,
Or
Yeah.
not if that's not what you're into.
and we'll see you next week. Our guest next week is Manny Santiago. Make sure you check us out on the social medias: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Check us out on the
All the
epicradioshow.com.
stuff.
During the show, we actually sold a couple hoodies. Yeah, so thanks for that. You guys can always donate to us through Cash App at $ the Epic Radio Show.
We're poor. We're hungry.
Yes. So we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. And as always, make life epic.
Bye.
Thanks
Bye.
everybody.
Dear Mr. President, there are too many steaks nowadays. Please eliminate 3. I am not a crackpot.
Oh, wow, that was terrible.
Hasta la vista, baby.
That's my only real motivation is not to be hassled. Got in fear of losing my job, but you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
And I'm sorry, we're out of time. Bye.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Please leave this office.
Do we get any sort of souvenir?
Get out of my office!
Oh my God, it feels so good. Oh yeah. Oh, slow down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Who's your daddy?